Hey, what's going on, Super Creators? I'm Super Manny. Thank you so much for joining me again on today's video. And what I'm going to be going over today are the 5 tips, not 10, 5 tips to help you edit better sizzle reels or demo reels or trailers or 1-minute bangers, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so let's get right into the intro. Okay, so first of all, let me explain to you what is a sizzle reel. A sizzle reel is usually what we know through like film and commercial as like a trailer. It's pretty much that. It's a trailer, it's a teaser. Usually the way it's seen nowadays is like a lot of social media. You'll see like a 1-minute clip of an event, of something that happened, right? A conference, things of that nature. And they cut down this whole event of 2-3 days and they just turn it into like a 1-minute clip. That's called like a sizzle reel, right? So the reason why these things are important is because you're able to show what happened throughout the whole event in just 1 minute. So it's very important to understand how to edit it to get the best results. Okay, so that's what we're gonna be going into. So tip number 1 for editing any type of sizzle reel or any type of edit is to tell a story. Remember that you're trying to recap a whole event or situation in just 1 minute. So you're trying to transfer days into 1 minute. So you have to tell a story. That means make sure that you include the 5 principles of storytelling, which is who, what, when, where, and how or why, right? So how do you do that? So a lot of times the best way to tell the story is, first of all, you want to let them understand what's going on and what's the location. So you can even start out the video straight off by showing Las Vegas, by showing California, right? LA, New Jersey, New York. What was the conference, right? You can show a banner of the conference or whatever event took place. If there was a specific building, right? If it was in a concert, then you would show whatever stadium or building that it was in. That's how you can tell the first part of where you are. Another way that you can tell the rest of the story of like who, what, when is obviously you want to highlight the key persons. If there was a speaker that you're highlighting, then you want to show in your first 10 seconds who that speaker is or who he was with. Then you also want to show the crowd. You want to show the venue. That's also very important, like the inside, right? Entering the venue, around, if there was any specific bar, location, stadium, things like that. So you want to definitely show that those things. That definitely helps tie to telling the whole story. So those things you really want to take care of at the beginning. I'll tell you first 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and then the rest of it continue to show out what happened throughout the event. So you want to show if there was any special events, if there was any special speaker, if there was any special guest, if there was a party, if there was a food festival, if there was an after party, after hours, right? A luncheon, whatever those things, those little things are, you want to show them throughout the story, throughout the video, so then that way you want to make sure that all of these elements are there because it'll tell the story of everything that happened. Basically, you want to take somebody from the beginning as if they arrived to the location and they arrived to the event, and then take them all the way through as if they were at every part of it. Okay, so that's my tip number 1. The tip number 2 is to keep your intro text simple and short. What I mean by simple and short is even if you're using a logo or if you're using a title, you really want to keep this as simple as possible because you don't want it to take away from the story. You just want it to add to what's going on. So you really don't want to go over, I would say any text that you're using to describe the situation shouldn't go more than 8 seconds. And that's if you're using multiple logos. Like let's say it's an event sponsored by Red Bull and Nike and Fila and everybody else, right? So then you would put the name of the event, and then you would put sponsored by these people, 3 people, directed by. You want to keep that very short. I would say 5 seconds is at most what you would use, and keep the text very simple because you don't want it to be too abstract as to where they can't read it or don't know what's going on, unless the logo itself or the event itself is a certain abstract feel to it. Like if it's a hip hop concert or hip hop event, then yeah, you want to give it a little bit of hip hop feel, but don't overload it to where you can't read it and you don't know what's going on. So just keep it simple and keep it short. All right, my tip number 3 is to use sound elements from the event. So what are sound elements? Sound elements are people cheering, people clapping, people talking, people laughing, all of these things, especially if it's like a speaker. Let's say if you're doing like a sizzle reel for a podcast or a certain singer, right, for like a concert, then you want to make sure that in the first few seconds that you use an audio clip of that person actually speaking or telling the crowd, all right, let's go, let's come on, things like that. You want to use those things because it lets people feel that they're part of the event. It lets them feel that they were actually there and the energy that was felt there. That's why it's very good to, while you're using all the visuals, but also show things where you can use the audio that was happening, especially if there's a person having a quick conversation. You want to show them laughing together, you want to show them shaking hands, all of these things, but you want to use the audio that goes with it so that the people can live the moment. You don't want it to just be music throughout the whole thing. Okay, tip number 4, also this goes with the sound, is choose the music first. I cannot stress enough how important music is. So first, choose the song or the music that you're going to use to make sure that you get the right feel for the event. I'll do an extreme case. If it's like a golf event and it's more, let's say something more professional, more of like, yeah, let's say just something more professional, more casual. You don't want to go in with like heavy EDM and things like that. It kind of throws off. You want to make sure that the feel of the event itself goes together with the feel of the music. So choose the music first, and that way through the music you'll understand if there's a certain part that is like a climax that goes up, if there's a part that goes down, if there's a part that transitions from like a slow beat and then builds up, and then you have the drop, right, and then the music starts hitting hard, things like that. You definitely want to make sure that you understand and hear first, so that way you can know what kind of clip you're going to use throughout as something to like really bring the attention and all of these other things. Tip number 5, and that is, don't use too many effects. Contrary to popular belief, effects, transitions, all of these things, they actually take away of the story. They take away from the story if they're not used properly. So if you're using a lot of whooshing and swishing and zooming in and zooming out and all of these things, be very particular with them because they can take away from the story instead of adding to it. One thing that I can recommend is to remember that effects are also transitions. So a transition means from one thing or event or situation to another one that's completely different. So you want to change the mood. If you're going to transition, it has to be a different kind of mood change. So what I recommend is usually use a transition. I would say within 10, 15 seconds in, when you're introducing, right? So you're introducing the video, you have the venue, the location, the title sequence, everything moved out the way. And then now you're ready to get into the meat of the event. Then use a transition. Use a hard transition, right? Zoom in and then show the party, show the festival, show the event, show the people laughing. That's a great way to actually get them pulled into the video and gets the excitement. And then use a transition once you're gonna finish off the video. Right at the end, if you have like a logo or if you have like a finishing scene, whatever it is, then poof, and then just come out and use a transition. So usually use a transition at the beginning and then one kind of at the end, just to ease into the video and then ease out of the video. So that's how I would use transitions. Throughout the editing, I would use very little, depending, unless there was a specific part that you wanted to, that you filmed to edit that specific way, then I would use it, an effect. If not, then don't transition anything. Right, an extra tip, this is actually a bonus tip, tip number 6. And tip number 6 is to review all the footage that you have. Watch it once, twice, 3 times even. Make sure that you understand the footage that you have. I can't stress this enough. It's super important, especially if you weren't the one filming it and you're just editing. You want to make sure that you watch all the clips so that you understand the story that's being told, that you understand which are the key parts that you have. Because once you see all the clips and you know what you have to work with, it's super easy to edit. So really like pre-planning it, right? Having the music and then watching all the clips, then you already know, okay, this clip can go here when this song hits, or this clip can go here, this go here. And then you can choose the intro. This is the perfect first clip to use. This is the perfect ending clip to use. So it's very important, as a bonus tip, to watch all the footage as many times as you need to understand exactly what clips you have, and then you can understand how to use it. It'll make your editing 10 times faster. All right, guys, so thank you so much for listening to me as I give my 5 tips and a bonus tip on how to edit Sizzle Reels and really much any type of video a lot faster and a lot better. If you did resonate with these tips, definitely leave in the comments below what was your favorite tip. And as always, if you liked the video and you want to see more of this, hit that like button, leave the comment that you want to see more of it and what kind. If you have any questions, also leave those down in the comments. I'll definitely be looking at them and then answering for you guys. So I do truly thank you for joining me today and watching this video. And as always, each and every one of you are super creators. You just have to go out and find your superpower. So this is Super Manny, and I will snap at you guys in the next video.